important time for us in scouting as you finish out the latter half of the season. Talked a lot this morning about time to start to pay attention as teams emerge as front runners for both the Capital One Bowl and the Champ Sports Bowl. Get to know the fan base, understand how the fans are reacting both pregame and postgame in wins and losses.
But the Indiana fans did a great job, and also the Indiana student section showed up very early, which Coach Lynch has made a very big priority of getting students to come to the game. And they were there early and they stayed late, and they were very loud and rowdy.
After the game, we met with Dan Mullen. He and the athletic director were quick to promise and guarantee that if they ever came here, they would bring the entire state of Mississippi. I don't doubt it. They were probably some of the friendliest and nicest fans I've ever met at any of the venues I've been to.
When I got here, I wanted to try to get our membership involved, and we made it a priority of membership, an advantage, a benefit of membership to become a scout. So we started our scouting program. This situation kind of grew. Of course, early on, it was a kind of a free-for-all. You know, we didn't have any conference tie-ins, and so we scouted all over the country. We might go scout a BYU game if they were a hot prospect for us. We might go scout, we had, in those early days, we had Cal Berkeley came and played in our game. USC came and played in our ball game. So we scouted a lot of different places before the conference tie-ins. I think in the SEC, there's a tremendous amount of options. Some of them come from the Western Conference. LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss still to be heard from. They've never been here, and they're dying to come. Obviously in the East, right now it's probably down to maybe South Carolina has the best shot at having a good record. And we haven't had South Carolina here in ages. Since I've been here, we haven't never had South Carolina. And that's a team we've always wanted because they travel so well. So, you know, in the eastern half of the conference, South Carolina would be a choice.
Also in the Big Ten, you think about Wisconsin, Michigan, Penn State, Iowa, and Ohio State, at worst with one loss. Two of those unbeaten in Wisconsin and Iowa. Huge games this weekend in the Big Ten, as big as I've seen in a while. Iowa and Michigan and Ohio State in Wisconsin. These games will go a long, long way in determining who's in the picture for the Capital One Bowl and who's in the picture for the Champ Sports Bowl at the end of the season.
Northwestern was very excited and said that, you know, they've only lost 2 games in both of which they've led in the fourth quarter. They could easily be 5-0. They said they do travel very well.
I really don't know what else they could have done other than provide a police motorcade. I mean, they were very, very hospitable. Every person who had anything to do with anything came up and introduced themselves to us. The president spoke to us for quite a while.
Big victory by Miami this weekend over a top-ranked Oklahoma team after going 3-1 in one of the toughest 4-game schedules in recent memory. Boston College looks to separate themselves in the Atlantic Division with a win also this weekend, and in a couple weeks against NC State should be in the driver's seat for the championship game. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, and Miami slugging it out in the Coastal. Big game earlier 2 weeks ago, though, with the Virginia Tech win over Miami, puts them in charge if they can win that game coming up this weekend against Boston College. Great year ahead, it looks like, in the ACC and the Big Ten. This year's Champ Sports Bowl should be one of the best ever.
Well, I think the whole thing is building relationships. Sometimes we get involved in the scouting reports on Monday morning a little bit too much with either the X's and O's or what actually happened at the game. What we're doing is representing the community, the Orlando area, as well as our organization, and it's all about establishing relationships and building friendships, and so those relationships are important. It's not to go out and bring back a report as to what kind of offense or defense they ran inside the red zone, or really the results of the game so much as it is those relationships, who we talked to, who we saw, who we visited with, and what kind of response they were getting to our bowl games.
We obviously want to have an excited team here to be part of that, but most importantly, we just want a good, deserving team put on a great show for their fans and their players.